Okay, so I know the motor's swapped. How did that become about?
Well, when I bought the car, I knew it had a blown motor. Well, not blown. The valve on piston number 7, exhaust valve on piston number 7, was bent, so it would run. And I've been wanting to do an LS swap, and I've been building a motor, and about halfway done with it when I got the car. So I figured just throw that motor in, and that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I did. It's a 5.3 LM7 out of a 2003 Yukon.
Okay, so how did you obtain the car, like the chassis itself?
Well, I obtained it Facebook Marketplace. Good old reliable. I don't know. I saw it. Guy had it for sale for $5 grand. So me and my dad went and looked at it. A couple little rust spots, but we fixed that up, and well, that's her.
So what was the process of swapping the Yukon engine to the Camaro?
Um, well, to be honest, there's a lot of going back and forth. You know, seeing what worked in the motor and then if it would work on the car. So after a lot of guesstimating and stuff, I'll just give you the lowdown of it. Basically what I had to do is the whole serpentine belt assembly. So your water pump, your alternator, your power steering pump. I don't have an AC in this. It's one thing I don't have in that. But all that stuff had to be shimmed out about 3/4 of an inch. I mean, you can buy the kits for it, or you can buy little collars at your local hardware store, but everything came out, everything lined up, and it works really good. And other than that, everything went pretty smooth. One thing is I had to use the intake off of the that came on this car because the intake that was on the motor was a little bit too big. Now I would like to use that one because you know I can use a Trailblazer SS intake, but I can't. I don't have the room. I don't want to cut up the car, so I just had to throw the stock one back on. But other than that, just dropping the K member. Make sure you have all your stuff disconnected, your brake lines off, and it should just slide right out. And same way going back in is you take your time, you watch where you're going. It is the easiest thing you can do.
So what do you currently have done to the car other than the swap?
Well, let me tell you, I got every nut and bolt that I bought, I have documented. This is just the quick stuff. I have a cam bearing set. I don't know exactly, I won't be able to tell you what it is, but I can tell you the part number for Summit. Link will be in the description. I have SRT shock and strut and coil spring assembly. I have Texas Speed Performance 1 3/4 inch stainless steel long tube headers for 98 to 02 LS1 Camaro Firebirds. I have the Brian Tooley Trunnion upgrade kit for my lifters. I have a Truck Norris cam, stock replacement push rods, Brian Tooley Racing LS hat valve seals, and LS6 blue beehive springs all came with the cam as a kit. I have AC Delco spark plugs, and then the rings on this I have gapped to 25 on the top and 28 on the bottom. Don't know why, just did it. And yeah, that's pretty much a lot of your big stuff that I have done to the car. Other than just getting some replacement parts just to be safe, and you don't have to do it, but I got new sensors because, well, I broke some, I'll be honest, who doesn't? I got a new oil pan, new pickup, went to the local Chevy dealer, got a gasket kit. It's expensive, but well worth it, because you don't want a bad seal, because that's how you fuck shit up. Can I curse? Screw stuff up. And I got new water pump, and everything in the motor was taken apart, cleaned, the crank was polished, I had my valves reground or touched up because they were pretty good condition. They just had to take a thousandths off, most was 3/10, which was pretty good. Other than that, just took it apart, cleaned it up, threw it back together, and it was good.
Now, what are your future plans going forward with this build?
Future plans. Future plans with this are to, well, one thing I did miss out on, and what I have done to the car, is the transmission that's in it, the 4L60, that has been upgraded. It has a Corvette of that same year, so a C5 Corvette valve body. Has upgraded red clutches. Has everything else in it that you should replace, has been replaced. I know a guy, you should know a guy. Everyone should know a guy because he always comes in handy. And has a bunch of, not sure what, but he made it be able to handle as much as I want to throw at it, which it better, because I will. And future plans, planning on to doing a Ford 9-inch in the rear, upgrade all the stuff in the back, probably Viking shocks for the rear, and after that rear end gets in, probably bigger tires, probably some Mickey Thompsons of some sort. I'm not sure about that yet. Have to watch the clearance. And probably going to Pro Charge it at some point. I'd like to do that. It would, but I'm just going to keep it the way it is for now, naturally aspirated, till it gets up and running, try to beat on it a little bit, and then throw that on it. And if it blows up, well, I'll just build another motor and stick it in it. This time I'll make even more.
So what's the current horsepower that you're pushing with this build?
Well, I've yet to go get it dynoed because it still needs an exhaust on it. But I'm hoping that, just regular on the startup after the quick tune, I'm going to get on it. Should be around 350, 370, something like that. But after it gets up and running, after I break the motor in, I'm gonna probably push it to about 400. Do different kinds of fuel, whatnot.
So do you have any future predictions on what you would like to build horsepower-wise with this?
For this motor, without if I do put the Pro Charger on it, I'm probably going to be shooting for around 550, because the bottom ends on these things, they're really strong. Word on the street is 600, you're kind of pushing, so stay 550, but after the motor blows up, which let's be honest, probably will. You know me. Probably going to put either a 6.0 or a 6.2 in it, put the Pro Charger on it, and probably methanol, and maybe a little bit of go-go juice, but probably be shooting for around 800 all motor, maybe 1,000 with the spray, hopefully.
Can you give us a quick start, see how it sounds?
Yeah, sure.